What is going on, guys? Jack here, stage name Ninjak, and we are back with this week's installment of the Monday Meta Review. So guys, I hope you guys are excited for this week's look at the current meta in OU and my thoughts on it. I know I'm pretty pumped about it. Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and everyone hit that like button. Go ahead and throw a like. You guys actually did really well in my most recent video. It was a higher ratio per likes per view, so you guys rock. Keep that up. We're killing it. We're starting to grow again. I had a little bit of shakiness in the middle there, I know, because my son, and it was just kind of crazy. But yeah, please hit that like button, hit the sub, and without further ado, let's talk about what we're going to look at in the Pikalytics side. So we're going to talk about the Pikalytics review right now. All right, guys. So I said last week that we would. My son says, "Hey." So currently I am watching my son. It's the weekend, and kind of the way my wife and I kind of worked it out is, I would try to take some extra time with him on the weekend so she can get a break, since she has him during the week while I'm at work. So I have him with me right now. He's napping, and hopefully he stays that way so I can get this recording done. But yeah, Randy says hi, everybody. So basically, guys, I thought we'd just talk about Corviknight this week and stuff that you can kind of, some thoughts around Corviknight and what you can do with it, and some ways you can sort of think about it. So look, guys, check this out. Before we even continue, a thing I thought I'd focus on is the way you can basically know every Corviknight's moveset, like, without even having seen anything. So if we go to the first turn, and we just look at these two teams. All right. My man here has a Corviknight. Corviknight's very popular. I'll go ahead and tell y'all, almost every single Corviknight is pressure. You are basically never, ever going to see Unnerve, and like very rarely Mirror Armor, but they're all pressure because it's just so powerful for things like close combat on Urshifu, only being able to click that a couple of times, or Surging Strikes. It just really takes out those big impact moves by taking out 2 PP instead of 1. It can allow it to stall things like a Tapu Lele that's trying to get a Spadef drop on a Psychic or something. So very common to see pressure. Let's just take a look, guys. I'm going to give you guys some insights. This is stuff that you probably already know but just aren't thinking about. Every single Corviknight has Roost, so you always know it's got Roost. Then, from there, you kind of look at the team and go, is there another Defogger? Because every team has the move Defog or Rapid Spin. Now, I can look at this team, say Gastrodon's not running Defog or Rapid Spin, not Heatran, not Melmetal, not Rillaboom, not Dragapult. Corviknight must have the move Defog. So we know Roost and Defog. Half of the thing's moveset is already known. Then, if we just wait till it comes in here for the first time, let's see. Okay, here we go. So Corviknight came in. Unfortunately, they missed. Well, that's going to reveal... Let's see. So they go Corviknight on Tapu Bulu, right? Which tells you probably a defensive Corviknight. That tells you the EV spread if that's what they're doing. Here's where I was hoping to show something that it's not going to show up yet, but here's the deal, guys. If you see Leftovers or Rocky Helmet on Corviknight, it is basically always going to have the move U-turn, because Magnezone will trap it if it doesn't. And so almost no one is going to run no U-turn on Leftovers or Rocky Helmet. Now that's not always true. That can change, but if you see Leftovers or Rocky Helmet, you can be pretty confident that the thing has U-turn. My guess on this team is that it is not a Shed Shell Corviknight, especially since it's a physically defensive Corviknight against a Tapu Bulu. That doesn't necessarily imply that it's not Shed Shell. But my guess is this is probably a Leftovers. That's the most common item. So if it's Leftovers, you know it's got Roost. A lot of the time it has Defog. You can determine that from the team. And now we know it has U-turn, which leaves, we now know 3 of 4 moves. Now obviously this one does come out and reveal right off the bat that it's U-turn. So pretty safe bet to assume every Corviknight has U-turn. And if it's not got Iron Defense, it probably is Brave Bird, which is going to be the 4th move. Now, we don't know that for sure. It could be Body Press without Iron Defense. I have seen that. It helps with things like Bisharp and Weavile. So it can absolutely run it without it, but Brave Bird, I think, is just a little more common. I don't want to mislead you guys. It's a little 50-50 on that last move. You kind of got to scout and see the way they're playing it. If they're going Corviknight on your Weavile that's already set up, probably it has Body Press, but maybe not. The point being, Corviknight is actually pretty easy to determine its moveset. And I'm going to let you know a little secret. Anytime you see a Corviknight click Iron Defense, I can promise you right now it's got Roost, Iron Defense, Body Press, and 4th move. Okay? Probably Defog. So anytime you see Iron Defense, you instantly know 3 moves. Roost, Iron Defense, Body Press. It's going to have Body Press if it's got Iron Defense. If you see Bulk Up, it probably has Brave Bird and Sub with Roost and Bulk Up, but not necessarily. Bulk Up's not super common right now, so I won't talk about that a ton. But yeah, that's Corviknight and some of the ways that you guys can scout its moves. Actually, let's just go ahead and come here. So it is U-turn, Roost, Body Press. Interesting. So yeah, like I was saying, it can be Body Press if they're worried about things like Weavile or Bisharp. And if you look at this team, yeah, probably worried about Weavile, right? Because Melmetal doesn't really want... I mean, Melmetal can take it, but Melmetal doesn't have a ton of recovery. So Weavile getting knockoff with getting rid of those leftovers, it's going to be sketchy to not have Body Press. So you can kind of just look at a team and say, is this team weak to Weavile? If it is, and they have a Corviknight, it's probably got Body Press. So yeah, that's kind of how you can determine the moveset of a Corviknight almost immediately, frequently without needing to see a single move. If it does come in on something like Rocks, for example, and it takes Chip, and at the end of the turn it gets leftovers, pretty much know it's going to have U-turn. So yeah, that's how you guys can learn some information about Corviknight right off the bat, which is actually really useful for making a game plan. Without further ado, I'll talk about my insights next at the current OU meta from what I've been seeing. We're back to talk about my current insights, and I'm actually really excited, guys, because so the thing I have written down is that there's a ton of hail right now. I'm seeing hail teams all the stinking time, and wouldn't you know it, like the exact team that I have been seeing. Okay, I was going to tell you guys, the core that I've seen is Ninetales, Arctozolt, and Volcanion. And I actually have seen Tornadus several times on it, but I wasn't as confident. But here is the team, guys. This team is all over the place right now. So you should know what's going on with this team. This team is super common. Generally, the Arctozolt that I've been seeing is leftovers with substitute, low kick. Your boy is amazing. Substitute, lefties, it's got low kick, blizzard, and bolt beak. So that's the set I've been seeing. I have seen some heavy duty boots, but not as much. This team is super common and right now very, very popular. So it's cool. It's a Slush Rush team. I'll be honest, guys, I don't fully understand the Volcanion because it's generally a Specs Volcanion that I've seen, which just like in the hail with hazards gets chipped down so quickly. So it's weird to me that you're running a Volcanion with hail and specs, but that's what I've been seeing. Yeah, that's definitely specs. You ain't doing no 36% to a Tapu Fini. That's what I've been seeing. This team acts kind of like hyper offense because of these specs. Ooh, spicy. And you got a kind of supporty Tornadus with knockoff U-turn for positioning. And then, of course, you already know about Ninetales. So that is a trend that I've been seeing a lot. This exact team, guys, is all over the place. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about this Corviknight. Look at this team. Tornadus could be defogging. Given the rest of its moves, it's very possible, which would free this Corviknight up to be an Iron Defense variant or just run more moves, something like a Roost, U-turn, Body Press, Brave Bird. You know, having all 3 of those could be possible, but I can guarantee it's got Roost and almost certainly has U-turn. Because this team is all about pivoting in to get Arctozolt lots. This team is very much about getting Arctozolt in. This thing pivots. This thing probably pivots. This thing probably pivots. Like, this team is about getting that Arctozolt in. But yeah, I've been seeing this team just all over the place, guys. And it's a Specs Volcanion. It's just so weird to me that I don't fully agree with it, to be honest. But it is super common, and it's up in the 1700s. So, I mean, it certainly is working. I mean, admittedly, he's doing some pretty nasty damage out here. Ow, that hurt. But you got rid of Tapu Fini, so that's huge. I was going to say, I'm just killing your Slowbro. What? So, yeah, this team acts a lot like Hyper Offense, kind of like that Trick Room team, and that because Volcanion is just going to get worn out very quickly. Oh, that's actually super heat. I love that. You know, sub to get the lefties. That's a clever play. That's what you needed to do right there. Yeah, so I've seen this team all over the place, guys. So know that this team is out there. This thing has Low Kick and Blizzard as its other moves. So if you can't deal with Arctozolt, you might want to think about adjusting your team. Some other observations I've had, Nidoking is on the rise again. I've actually been seeing a fair amount of Nidoking, even though he dropped from OU, what was that, a couple months ago? I don't remember when he did. I've seen more of him lately, and it's the standard set, Life Orb with like Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, you know, just the kind of standard Nidoking set. But it's been on the rise, so something to be aware of. It's not the fastest speed tier. 295 isn't crazy fast, which is why I think it kind of fell out of OU in the first place. But it is out there, so if you are running some slow stuff, then you kind of got to watch out for that. I've actually been running a team that does kind of struggle with it, but they're not likely to be able to call that. Maybe I'll tease that, maybe I won't. I don't know. I know that team will show up on the channel. I just don't know if it will this week because it's not technically a part of my heat or trash segment. So, I've seen more Magnezone lately, actually. For a little while, I really wasn't seeing much of it, and I was actually running Corviknights that didn't have Shed Shell without U-Turn, just because I didn't feel like I was running into much of it. But I feel like it's been back on the rise. Maybe I was just getting lucky before, I don't know. But I've definitely seen more Magnezone, and I've actually seen a lot of Blaziken. Like, this was another game. Like, I've just been seeing kind of a surprising amount of Blaziken. Look. Yo, what literally, you know your boys, like, you know I'm actually telling you what the meta is when I can literally click into 2 games and find the exact thing I'm talking about. Blaziken is all over the place right now from what I've seen. Everyone's running it. I've actually not been seeing a ton of Swords Dance. They have Swords Dance probably. But I have been seeing some that are just like, I'm just going for it. You know, just the Life Orb, just start hitting things. Just Blaziken hits like a truck and has pretty good coverage with Fight and Fire type, and then some other coverage moves. It's pretty strong. Something to note, okay? I actually saw this a couple of times and thought, oh, like, you know, you really got to watch out for that. I've been seeing Fire Blast, Overheat. They're mixed sets, things like Close Combat, or I've seen High Jump Kick. Like, the boys out here doing the rolls. High Jump Kick, Overheat / Fire Blast, Protect almost always so that you can outspeed a Dragapult. And then, does that outspeed? Yeah, because frequently you come in, maybe they go Dragapult, and then you would Protect, and then you outspeed. I don't think one boost is going to be enough to outspeed, because you're going to add 140, 142, which is going to put you at 426. Oh, it does outspeed. Yeah, so Protect, which means they're all jolly. Well, they're all speed boosting nature. If they're the mixed set, they might have like minus defense or something. But yeah, guys, I've been seeing a lot of Blaziken, a lot of Magnezone, some more Nidoking. I wouldn't say a ton of Nidoking. I've been seeing like a ton of Blaziken, but I wouldn't say a ton of Nidoking. And then I just loved it. Legit, this exact Hail team, guys. Those are my observations of the OU meta right now. And now we will transition into the Heat or Trash segment, which I think you guys were a big fan of last time. And I have definitely found some cool stuff for y'all. Alrighty, guys. So, I've got some pretty heat stuff this week. I saw some pretty neat stuff. Actually had more than I felt like going over in this video, so I saved some of it for next week. Randy says hi again. So I think he's starting to wake up, so I'll try to move somewhat quickly, and I also don't want these videos to be too long. So, a non-assault vest Galarian Slowking with Black Sludge, Trick, Thunderwave, Psychic, Ice Beam. I think this is a super cool set, guys. It definitely has that surprise factor. tricking that black sludge onto something that does not want it, something like maybe a Heatran or a Blissey, for example. And then Thunder Wave, being able to status your opponent when they're probably not expecting it, could be super valuable. Something like maybe a Dragapult that comes in thinking, actually you probably don't want to stay on Dragapult without an Assault Vest, but maybe you do. Maybe the Thunder Wave or the trick is really valuable there. But being able to trick that black sludge onto something is huge, especially something like a Blissey that does not want to be taking 12% every turn. So this is a pretty cool set. I saw the ultimate Landorus counter on the ladder. I thought this was actually super hype. It is a bulky, fast Crobat. I don't know what ability, but I think Inner Focus makes the most sense. And it's Roost, Taunt, Defog, Super Fang. Here's how it works. If you've got rocks up, even if you don't, but if you do, Lando comes in, takes 12%, 12.5. You come out here and Super Fang the homie. He's not hurting you. He can't Toxic you. He can't Earthquake you. Knockoff is his strongest move, but he's going to take Rocky Helmet Chip because of that. And U-turn is probably the thing he's most interested in, and he probably wants to set rocks. And you can just Roost, Taunt, Defog. You click Taunt, it's almost certainly going to eventually just U-turn. And between Super Fang, Rocks, and Rocky Helmet, that Landorus is super low with just one encounter. So this is a really cool set for if your team kind of, like, let's say you've got something that really opens up if it can one-shot Landorus, something like a Volcarona maybe. You know, you're only going to get one Quiver Dance off. That Landorus is going to come in, it's Spadef Lando, and it's going to want to drop a Toxic on you, and you don't want that. You mess it up with this thing, it ain't living no one hit on your +1 Volcarona anymore, because now you've dropped it to like 30%. And even if it has leftovers, like, it's going to be a while before that Landorus is really very valuable again. So this is a really great way to just immediately check Landorus and other threats. I mean, it's just a strong Mon. So this is super cool. I thought this was a very neat set, and I enjoyed seeing it. And it did, man. It just shredded Lando. This set maybe isn't shocking as a Sharpedo, but it was cool to see it out on the ladder, and it seemed to be doing reasonably well. And it's just a Life Orb, Speed Boost, Protect, Earthquake, Liquidation, Crunch. So, you know, pretty fast little dude, 120 base attack, Adamant Nature, Life Orb, it's going to hit like a tank. I mean, it's going to hit. It hits hard. This is phenomenal coverage. Liquidation on Lando, Crunch on Dragapult, Earthquake on Heatran. I mean, it covers everything. So it's just good coverage, and it basically is meant to just come out and take a lot of value. Probably the thing where this falls off is against like Regenerator Mons, where you're taking that Life Orb damage and they're likely to just recover it back. But this thing was super, super cool. Toxapex kind of walls this. I guess you could Earthquake it, but you're going to take Life Orb and you don't have Stab. So really cool set. I enjoyed seeing it. This set is super cool, guys. A Drampa with leftovers, Berserk. So anytime your HP falls below half, you're going to get a special attack boost. And it had Roost, Glare, Hyper Voice, and I don't know what the last. Actually, I never saw the moves, but I'm assuming it's got Hyper Voice because it's a stab powerful attack, and Ice Beam just gives really good coverage in the current meta. This is just cool because it would just sit there and roost attacks that were doing like 50-ish%, and between leftovers and roost, it would just repeatedly proc Berserk. And then it could set a Glare up to slow you down and roost up when the next thing wanted to come in. So it was just a cool set. I don't know how I feel about this. I also have no clue what it's probably a Trick Room at best. It's probably generally where you're going to run this. So I just made it Spadef. I really didn't know what its set was, but let me know in the comments, guys. Do you think this is heat or trash? Because I'm really out. Like, it's pretty cool. So like, it's a neat set, but it definitely has some weaknesses. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think about this Drampa? And then this Mew, this is just wild, guys. I just had to report this. You guys, this thing was a Zap Cannon Mew. So Zap Cannon is a super strong electric attack that is only hits half the time, literally 50% accurate, and it has a 100% chance to paralyze if it connects. So I was like, hey, you know, that's spicy. I like it. It's gonna make the set, the video, heat or trash. But otherwise, it's just a standard, other than Zap Cannon, hyper offense type lead with taunt, spikes, and stealth rocks. This was a super cool Gyarados, guys. This was part of a hyper offense team, and it's sub Dragonance, Waterfall, Earthquake, with leftovers, so not a heavy-duty boots Gyarados, which I thought was kind of neat. The idea is to get it in, obviously get behind that sub, start boosting up, and once you pick up a kill on this thing, after you've already picked up some speed, which actually I've just realized, you have to boost twice to outspeed a Dragapult, so that's something to know. You're going to need 2 boosts if there's a Dragapult remaining. But this thing basically, I mean, once that Moxie starts, guys, Gyarados can really run. It can really run. So it was a pretty cool set, and it was fun to watch, and I actually did see it sweep in the game I saw. Then you got this Kommo-o, guys. This thing is heat. I love this set. It is Sub Clangorous Soul, Drain Punch, no shock. I put Ice Punch, guys. I don't know what it was, okay? I don't know what it was because I watched it fight a Landorus, and this thing clicked Drain Punch into Landorus repeatedly. And I was like, why are you Drain Punching? Like, why would you not have Ice Punch on this set, which is just going to wreck the tier? Because you got Garchomp is going to be an answer to this thing. You've got Landorus. Like, Landorus always comes in on this bad boy. So Ice Punch, like, please, you don't want to get toxic. I understand you might get behind a sub, but without Ice Punch, you can't really take out Landorus, and it's just going to Earthquake you down. And I don't understand. The way they played, they didn't have Ice Punch because they Drain Punch repeatedly till they died. And it was a Landsat Berry, which gives you the focus energy effect at 1/4 HP or less. So your boy would come out here, Clangorous Soul, drop a sub to get the Lancet Berry. Now you have a boosted, like, Giga High stat Kommo-o with focus energy that would just like crit Drain Punch all of its HP back, right? And actually, I think that's super useful for taking out Landorus because of that high crit chance, allowing you to deal with some of the attack drops they're going to try to get with those Intimidates. And Drain Punch obviously increasing your health. So if you could, in the future, like, you could potentially get another Clangorous Soul off. So super cool set. I gave it 208 with Timid, or Jolly Nature, for 283. That's because at 283 with +1, oh, I took it off. Kommo-o, so if you get it to 208, sorry, and it had a plus nature. Let's make Jolly. At +1, this is going to outspeed Zeraora. So something with Play Rough, probably not going to want to eat that. So being able to Drain Punch it first is going to be pretty valuable, especially with the high crit chance. So put it just enough speed to actually outspeed a Zeraora at +1. And I put the rest of the EVs in defense because you're going to get a boost to all of your stats. Originally, I had them in HP, but I realized since you're going to boost your stats by having 48 here, you're going to get a 1.5 multiplier to that. So it's better to have them in the defensive side. And I think defense makes the most sense. And I gave it bulletproof. Being immune to Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Focus Blast is pretty valuable because that's pretty common right now. And last but not least was a super cool Primarina set with Leftovers, Perish Song, Protect, Whirlpool. Didn't see what the last move is, but I'm going to explain why I picked Encore in just a second. But this thing was super neat, guys. I thought this was actually pretty brilliant because some of the common answers are things like Galarian Slowking or Slowking himself. Things that are very Spadef bulky, you generally don't go with Sweeper on this thing. Especially if Primarina comes in, because everyone assumes specs for the most part. So you get this thing in on a Heatran, for example, and you drop a Whirlpool on the incoming Galarian Slowking, drop a Perish Song, so this thing is full Spadef, okay? So you're going to eat a Sludge Bomb. Then you can Protect, obviously, and deal with that. I was between Sub and Encore. Sub has the potential to let you get through a Sludge Bomb heavy Galarian Slowking. So if they're smart, when you Whirlpool them, they're going to Sludge Bomb you. Okay, that's what they should do. But they might click Future Sight. So if you Perish Song and they click Future Sight, this is going to outspeed every Galarian Slowking. You can Encore the Future Sight, keep your Primarina at peak HP, save your Protect for when that Future Sight's going to land, or have a Dark type, because I guess if they Future Sight and you Perish Song... No, the Future Sight will land on the second turn of when basically right before you swap out. You just Protect, dodge it, and you get rid of a Galarian Slowking without taking a lick of damage. If they're Sludge Bomb heavy, Encore is not as good as Sub because you probably would want to pair a song, take a big chunk, protect, obviously ignore it, sub, so you don't die, and then you swap out, they're going to die on the next turn, and you can keep Primarina as a sack for later. But being able to remove something like a Galarian Slowking can seriously open up a lot of special attack threats, things like Setup Tornadus or Heatran. So this is a really cool set, I think, for breaking Galarian Slowking specifically. Also, any of the Slowbro, Slowking, like if any of those come in on this thing just wrecks it. And being able to Encore Future Sights, I think, is actually pretty valuable. So that is going to do it for this week's Monday Meta Review, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, again, please subscribe if you're new and hit the like button. And leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see me try the most. Like, what was your favorite Heat or Trash Mon? As always, I will be putting the box as a Poke Paste in the description. So if you want to try any of these Mons out, feel free to go check it out. And without further ado, I'll see y'all out there.